Could our entire universe have been built by a super intelligent species? Could your existence, including everything you have ever known, be nothing more than pixels on a super advanced computer simulation? It may sound a little radical, but with the exponential increase in computing power, is there a possibility for such simulation to exist? And if it is, then how could we know for sure? Well, in today's video, we will inspect the possibility of our lives being some part of a simulation. So sit back and stay with us until the end to learn what the chances are of the artificial world hindering or even controlling our realities. Let's get started. What is really going on around us? Is reality just an illusion? Is heaven real? Is hell real? Is the universe as endless as we think it is? Or is everything made in a randomly generating computer that we've been hooked up to with no escape? Or maybe there is an escape, and we just need to crack the code that will open the door and let us into the real world. How would it sound to you if we were to say that our world is simply hypothetical programming, with all of us merely characters in some kind of coded video game? This, of course, is a familiar concept from science fiction books and films, including the '99 blockbuster movie, The Matrix. But some physicists and philosophers say we may live in a simulation, even if that means casting aside what we know about the universe and our place in it. This all started with the simulation argument, which stated, is the Matrix real? And the argument that we may be living in a simulation is that an adequately advanced intelligent civilization could easily develop ancestor simulations because they would have the computing power to do so. It has been found that the amount of computing power needed to simulate a human mind can be roughly estimated. Hans Moravec, an expert in robotics at Carnegie Mellon University, estimated this to be about 10 to the 14th operations per second, based on actual computer modeling of individual nervous tissues. Another estimate by Nick Bostrom of Oxford University has shown this to be up to 10 to the 17th operations per second based on simulating the interconnection of synapses in the brain. This kind of simulation would make the simulated beings conscious because they would essentially have the same brain capacity as any real humans. K. Eric Drexler, a PhD engineer from MIT, outlined a design for a system the size of a sugar cube that could perform 10 to the 21st operations per second. And Robert Bradbury has conceptualized a hypothetical computing megastructure called a Matryoshka brain, based on a planet-sized Dyson sphere that would have computing power on the order of 10 to the 42nd operations per second. The total computing power of 10 to the 27th would be all that is required to simulate the brains of every single person on the Earth. Based on these computational densities, even a much smaller computer structure the size of the Empire State Building could easily simulate trillions of humans. To make a simulation, not only would the brain need to be simulated, but also our environment and the passing of time. But if all we are trying to do is create a realistic simulation for humans, we don't need that level of granularity. When people look up at the night sky, for example, those stars and other objects can be simulated with very few pixels to give sufficient authenticity. No errors could ever occur because the master computer could simply stop time, go back and correct the error, and rerun that part of the simulation so that any mistakes would be erased. If we simulate the brain of 100 billion humans for 100 years per human and 30 million seconds per year, with 10 to the 17th operations per second, the figure would be 10 to the 37th operations. So even with a computer 0.01% the size of the Matryoshka brain, you could run this entire simulation in less than 1 second. So the computing power needed to run millions or billions of ancestor simulations is potentially possible with just a minor fraction of the computing power that a super intelligent civilization is likely to have. Nick Bostrom, professor of philosophy at Oxford University, has argued that there are 3 possibilities for the future of advanced intelligent beings in the universe. Possibility 1 is that nearly all technologically advanced civilizations go extinct before they can create ancestor simulations. Possibility 2 is that of all technologically advanced civilizations, none are interested in creating ancestor simulations that are so detailed that the simulated avatars are conscious. Possibility 3 is that if the above 2 are not true, then we are almost certainly living in a simulation. If any of the technologically advanced civilizations of the universe is not extinct and is interested in creating ancestor civilization, then they would almost certainly create millions or billions or even trillions of such simulations, because it would only require a fraction of their computing power. And if billions of simulations are happening, then many more simulated people than non-simulated people are conscious. so it is much more probable that we are one of those conscious simulations than actual real living beings. So, we are most likely inside a simulated reality. But then again, possibilities 1 or 2 could be true. If we do go on to create computer games with ancestor simulations, this would be strong evidence against possibilities 1 and 2. If we are living in a simulation, then the cosmos that we perceive may just be a tiny part of all existence. Chances are that the physics of the real universe where the computer running the simulation is located may not even be anything like our universe. The crazy thing is that there are 7 billion of us, humans, on Earth. Even if one of us discovers that he or she is living in a simulation, then all of us are living in a simulation. But then again, the overlords might rerun the simulation to make sure that none of us discovers that we are living in a simulation. So, that was today's video, guys. Thanks a ton for watching it. Let us know how you liked it in the comments section. Also, subscribe to our channel and stay tuned as we bring more intriguing content to your screens.